I just made $5,000 in my business today, and I wanted to just go over it from start to finish because it may be helpful to you. If you're new, my name is Michael Benjamin, and I basically have a credit repair and funding business. And if you want to like validation and all that, I then posted me funding my client $275,000. I literally posted a screenshot of the 30,000 or 27,500, entering my bank account, stuff like that. So do your due diligence. This is not the video where I'm gonna stay here all day and make you prove to you, right? Chances are, if you're watching this, you're probably a successful business owner or somebody that's aspiring, on the way. So that's why I wanted to do this type of video. Usually when I do these type of videos, I'm doing it for the point of letting credit repair business owners know the importance of business funding. But I want to do something different in this video and just expand my coast. So credit repair business owners, in my experience, majority of them are having a poor mindset. They're kind of cheap, like they don't want to invest in themselves. So if you're a business owner, maybe you're in a different industry, maybe you're in what y'all be doing? Maybe you're in Airbnb or something. I don't know if Airbnb is popping like that no more. Maybe you're doing consulting. Maybe you get my point. You're doing something else, right? I want you to understand that everything I'm going to talk about today, it's all revolving around credit. We all need credit. I want y'all, if y'all don't have a credit repair business, I want y'all to do what I'm saying and prove that you can lap these credit repair business owners that choose and refuse to invest in themselves and continue doing the same thing that's keeping them stuck at that 5 to 10K or less per month mark, right? So everything I'm telling you in here today is what I have learned from investing money in myself. So keep that in mind. So how do we get to this $5,000 that was made today, right? So to be transparent, I just figured out about this client getting approved $50,000 at 0% interest. Anyone that knows about this business model, the client did get approved, but we got to wait until we actually get that payment. So that $5,000 I'm talking about is the revenue that is made in the business and is going to come. To be transparent though, we did get paid out from some other clients that got approved a while ago. So the main thing I need y'all to understand, if you do step into this business funding game, if you are going for those 0% interest credit cards, it's going to take time for the client to get it. They activate the card, you'll send the invoice, you get your money. So let's talk about this particular client. So just data wise, whether you're a credit repair business owner that's watching this or if you're a different industry, right? I'm talking to everybody, every business owner at this point, right? Because I'm not just dealing with these credit repair business owners. I'm not going to convince these poor, struggling credit repair business owners that they should invest in themselves. So if you're if you're a business owner, you're doing getting your business in a different industry, you want to add some revenue, focus on the business model I'm telling you to focus on, right? This might be your next six-figure business. You never know, maybe even seven. But anyways, so the client was watching me on YouTube and she has a document, it's a document preparation services business. So pretty safe business, not high risk. When you have things like trucking, that's high risk. So she has a document preparation services business. Her credit was about, I think it was like 730-ish, somewhere around there. So essentially, what we did was we got her business funding. If you're new to my channel, if you don't understand how the business funding game works, essentially the way that we get paid is we get people access to funding and then we get a 10% success fee. So obviously, her getting a $50,000 approval, 10% of that is $5,000. So what's going to happen now when she receives the card, she's going to activate it and then she already knows how the game goes, right? Because we had a consultation. She's gonna activate the card. We'll send a $5,000 invoice. She's gonna complete it, and that's that. She has the rest of the $50,000 to invest in her what's it called, her business. When it comes to hiring, when it comes to scaling, when it comes to marketing, those kind of things, right? So I say that to say, whether you're a credit repair business owner or not, I think everyone should be doing business funding, right? I'll go on record to say that I don't know if people are promoting everyone to be doing business funding, but I think everyone should be doing it because it's, even if it's not your main thing, it's just such a lucrative way to make money. Obviously the person has to have the credit when we talk about with the banks with these 0% interest cards, but even people that got bad credit, if you're a business owner that do got bad credit, if you got cash flow, we got ways to get you funding regardless. So I say that to say that the funding game is so, it's so lucrative because there's so many ways to get to it. But the thing is, And this is where people mess up. Thing is, especially people in the credit repair industry, they will look like because I got these people following me on like IG, stuff like that. Maybe even YouTube. So they'll watch me all day and then they'll think that they're going to get a similar result to me without investing in themselves. Like life does not work like that. If you are a successful business owner, whether you're in credit repair, funding, trucking, whatever, if you achieved a respectable amount of success, you probably made some type of investment in yourself, right? So you've got to understand that. And we've got to call people out for being losers. And being a loser is expecting to have all this success without investing in yourself. Anyone that is just expecting the highest ROI, but they don't want to invest any money in themselves is a loser. That's a loser to me, right? So whenever I drop these links and stuff, when I'm talking about, like, oh, if you want to get mentored and all that, I don't want to be around losers, right? So if you know you don't have money, if you know you're cheap, I'm not talking to you. Hopefully these type of people are watching the video. If you know you're in that mentality, you're going to continue to be stuck. And don't y'all think it's funny how the people that are scared to invest in themselves, when they get their clients, they're getting mad that their clients don't want to pay because there's something called the mirror principle. That's a whole different video that I could talk about. But anyways, let's get back to the point of the video. So the $5,000. So the client basically came in our funnel, watching our YouTube, and she booked a call. She got on there. She understood everything that was going on. She understood the process. It was like I want to say like 9-day process. Technically, she probably got approved earlier, but it's just I had followed up today because I've kind of been backed by a lot of clients recently, so it's kind of been I've had to be catching up with follow up. So I always tell people maybe like about 7 days or so, just be patient with the process. So she got access to that in about like let's say 7 to 9 days, right? So what does this mean to you? This means to you, you can get people access to funding as well, especially if you're in, let's say you're in her industry or you're in some home services, maybe you do carpentry work, maybe you do roofing. These are types of industries that we've gotten high limit funding, right? Maybe you're in that industry already, but you're just like, oh shit, I'm watching this dude Michael online. He's getting all these people funding. Let me start my own little funding thing over here. And then now you're making more money than these cheap credit repair business owners that are afraid to invest in themselves because you came to the source, got access to the connections I have, got access to the contracts, got access to the contracts that'll help you avoid, people trying to finesse you. People don't talk about that too, right? This is why it's so important to invest in yourself, right? So basically, if you're in any industry, it could be credit repair, it could be non-credit repair. I want y'all to understand that funding is something you should have been doing 2 years ago, but the second best time is now, So, and I say that to also say, like, don't look at it. Don't just look at my result and everything I'm doing and just be like, okay, I could just go copy it. And you ain't invested nothing in yourself. You ain't seen the back end of how we actually doing what we doing. You don't know the connections. You don't know how I got access to what I have, right? So I have to keep stressing and emphasizing the number one mindset: invest in yourself, pay that person. It don't got to be me. If you see someone else on here talking about funding and then you're approaching them like you want to learn the game, you got to pay that bread to learn the game. That's just what it is. I don't know what it is with the credit repair people to have this weird mindset that they don't got to invest in themselves. But if you're a successful business owner in that different industry, you want to start this funding stuff, I want to do an experiment and prove that people that aren't even in the credit repair industry can make more money than the cheap credit repair business owner. So if that's you, maybe you could be our next success story when it comes to that. So where was I at as far as the client getting access to the 50,000? So yeah, basically the client came into our pipeline, booked a call. We fulfilled as far as fulfilling the service. So they answered some questions about their business in some form. The thing about this is a Chase bank, by the way. The thing about Chase is it's more powerful when you do go through a bank relationship manager because when you're just going online and applying, you're just letting the algorithm, you're at the mercy of the algorithm. The algorithm is just telling you what your approval is. But when you are going through a bank relationship manager, and not just any bank relationship manager, a bank relationship manager that's been vetted, I'm talking about this is a connection I've been working with for years, right? what's a connection I've been working with for years I've established versus one that you just go into banking and you're just like, oh, I want to have a BRM, right? This is why these cheap credit repair business owners, they don't prosper, they don't get far because they don't think logically. That's why they stay stuck, you know? So if you're watching this and you're just like, okay, I want to do what he's saying, my biggest advice to you, if you do value your time, just pay the bread. Just get mentorship. But if you're just like, okay, I want to try it on by myself, I still don't trust him or whatever, I that's fair. I get it. We gonna continue making, the money that we make within our business, so it doesn't really matter. It's more so that it makes me feel good when I have a new success story. So if you're in that mindset where you're just like, okay, you don't trust what I'm saying or whatever, go try it for yourself, get some success or go waste your time not getting success. And then when you're ready to, actually get the real sauce, you can come over. But I say that to say, like, the main thing I want y'all to take away from the video is when you want to get to somewhere that you aren't, or you want to get to somewhere that you never been, you got to do things you've never done. So for a lot of you, that means investing in yourself. That means not asking all these 9 to 5 questions or trying to have shortcuts. If you take shortcuts, you're going to be cut short, right? That's the whole motto of how I feel about shortcuts. Go read my book. I wrote a book called The Power of Yet, right? Hold on. I think I got it over here. Oh, so I wrote this book, right? The Power of Yet. Like go read up on that book. Just because you can't do something right now doesn't mean you can't do it ever. It just means you can't do it yet, right? So if you got to work on your mindset, go read books like The Power of Yet that I wrote. Go read those books that'll just shift your mindset because you got to look at your current situation. If you're not satisfied with your current situation, whether you make millions of dollars and you want to make more, or if you make not even 6 figures and you want to make more, you've got to change who you are internally. And a lot of times that happens with releasing that money. My dad taught me something, right? He said basically look at this demonstration. When you close your hand in like a fist and you don't allow money to go anywhere, you're blocking the blessings. When you're good with your money, you're releasing it, you're allowing it to flourish, giving and investing in yourself, the blessings are allowed to come in, right? So that's one of the lessons that I've taken in my life and I've applied. And I just want y'all to understand that. But more so on the business funding, business tip, just before I get out of here, because I don't want the video to be too long. When it comes to finding clients, because I know one of the main questions is people's like, oh, how do I find clients? First of all, I'm gonna leave a free guide below. It's a guide that talks about how to get high quality clients when it comes to the credit repair industry, but it's universally applicable to business funding as well. So all that free guide will be there in the description for y'all. But anyways, so I dropped a recent video where I was talking about how you can get free business funding leads. So I would go look at that recent video as well. And when it comes to it, this is why I'm saying business funding is such a dope thing because even if you're not a credit repair business owner, let's say you deal with roofing services or carpentry or something, right? I'm just thinking about the recent people we've gotten funding, right? So if you're in that industry, chances are you probably know other people in that industry. So if you become the new business funding person for those people, now all of a sudden you got all these clients, right? Let's say you've never ran a business before ever. Go watch the video I dropped where I was talking about generating those leads, right? That'll help you as well. So I say that to say there's no excuse not to be able to get clients. When it comes to the fulfillment of the service, you got to make sure you have a good BRM, bank relationship manager. Yes, you can go online and apply, but when I'm talking about what I'm talking, where this $5,000 came from, this came from my direct connection. And I literally give the connection to my students. I did a video too. If you go on my channel, you look for Brian Winston. I did a case study with them on how he made $7,500 in a day funding his client 75,000, right? I didn't pay him to get on there and start lying about that or anything. It just is what it was, right? When you change people's lives, they appreciate that. So hopefully this video helped you. I hope it can help you move forward. If you're a credit repair business owner and you've been cheap or had a poor mentality, maybe this will change your mindset. But if you're a different business owner, if you're a different successful business owner, you want to add business funding to your services, then yeah, hopefully this helped. And the next steps you got to take. I'm gonna leave links below in the description. If you want to get tapped into the mentorship, Book a call, apply, and we'll see if it makes sense and see if we can help you get to the next level. I do not fuck with no cheap, poor business owners, no matter what industry you're in. So if you know you're not serious, do not book a call. If you know you're not serious, do not book a call. Bring your credit card ready to invest money so we can make money and get to the next level. With that being said, y'all have a blessed one.